Hello, everyone. Welcome to Time Teller Diaries. What makes a truly great travel watch? For decades, tracking multiple time zones meant spending luxury car money on a Swiss masterpiece, but things have radically shifted in the affordable watch world. Enter the Pagani Design PD 1758 GMT. Now, when you think of Pagani Design, you usually think of highly literal direct homage to Rolex or Omega. But today we are looking at something a little bit different. This is their world map GMT powered by now legendary Seiko NH34 automatic movement. It brings a textured, stylized globe dial, a ceramic world city bezel, and a premium specs like sapphire glass, all for right around 100 odd dollars mark. In this video, we are going to do a complete unfiltered deep dive review. We'll talk about the case geometry, check out how this unique dial looks in the sunlight, put the bezel through its paces, analyze the bracelet, and see if the lume can finally break Pagani's track record of being notoriously weak. Most importantly, we are going to test how it wears over long periods. Is this the ultimate budget traveler watch, or did they cut too many corners to hit this crazy price point? Well, let's get into it. All right, let's start with what you actually get in the box. Now, Pagani packaging is famously simple. You get the standard faux leather or paper branded box, a user manual, a small cleaning cloth, and their standard 3-year warranty card. Nothing luxurious here. But let's be honest, we aren't buying the watch for the box. We want our money's worth. And let's talk about what the watch is really about. Now, the case diameter, which I'll measure, is right around 40 mm. The thickness is about 12.5 mm. Lug to lug, approximately 48 mm. Bandwidth is a very standard 20 mm, which allows you to swap them with standard aftermarket bands or straps. It does use the 316L surgical stainless steel construction, but I have a little reservation on the quality that has been used on this particular piece that I received, because I did find some cracks, on the dial, not on the crown side, but the other side. Uh, Even after keeping it a couple of times on the table, normally 316L does not, get the cracks, but this one did. And I've used the watch for about 8 months to about a year, so I was a little disappointed on that quality. Other than that, the watch is great. The movement is the Japanese Seiko NH34 automatic, GMT automatic, which is absolutely a great powerhouse. Um, and then the construction kind of gives you that feel of a Seiko 5, the contemporary Seiko 5 with a raised bezel. And the bezel is rather crisp and clicks very well. So a 40 mm diameter with a 12.5 millimeter thickness is universally a sweet spot for sports watches. Now, what surprises me most here is the thickness. Often budget GMT watches using older movements end up looking like absolutely hockey pucks on the wrist. The bezel movement is pretty crisp, and it is really made of a very high quality. Speaking of finishing and design, the entire chassis is built from 316L stainless steel. Pagani has opted for a classic brushed finish on the top of the lugs, which does an excellent job of hiding minor scuffs, while the sides are highly polished to give it that pop of light play on the wrist. Like I said, I wasn't really happy with the quality of the 316L, or so-called 316L, that Pagani used on my particular piece. Other than that, everything looks great. The execution here is clean. The transitions aren't razor sharp like a luxury Swiss watch, but there are no jagged or sharp edges that irritate your skin. Now, let's look at the absolute star of the show, which is the world map dial. Unlike their standard dive watches that mimic Rolex subdials, this dial features a laser etched texture of continents across a dark matte ground. It gives the face an incredible sense of depth because it's a numberless dial with simple, polished geometric indices. The map is allowed to take that center stage without looking cluttered. So inside this watch beats the Seiko NH34 automatic movement. So let's spend a couple of minutes talking about why this movement completely revolutionized the micro brand and affordable watch industry over the last few years. The movement, obviously, of the hands, of the wind, of the GMT is absolutely flawless. It moves very smoothly. As you can see, the GMT hands lock in at various intervals and does not then skip. So it is done, absolutely flawlessly. So before the NH34 came out, getting a reliable, affordable, automatic GMT movement was incredibly difficult. So you'd have, those skips, you'll have those movements which were not reliable, but this one does have the NH34, so you have that reliable Seiko movement. So either you had the sketchy, unbranded clones or pay massive premiums, for getting a Seiko or a high quality GMT movement. So Seiko, by developing the NH34, changed the game by releasing this collar style GMT caliber. It beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, featuring a hacking mechanism, meaning the seconds hand stop when you pull the crown out for the perfect time synchronization, and provides a healthy around, I would say, 35 to 40 hour power reserve, even though Pagani Design would claim 45 hours. I have been able to get easily, between 35 to 40, so I'm not complaining. So there you see the measurements. So achieving this 13.7 or thereabout width is pretty commendable, because most GMTs are pretty thick. So coming to the full transparency, this is what the watch community calls an office or collar GMT, not a true traveler GMT. On a true traveler GMT, adjusting the crown moves the main local R hand back and forth. Here you are adjusting the 24-hour GMT hand independently. If you are sitting at home tracking business partners in London or Tokyo, a collar GMT like this is actually more convenient. It's easy to adjust. So you adjust your regular home time, and then all you need to do is adjust the GMT hand to a foreign location time, and so forth. Now the watch uh, weighs a comfortable, at my particular piece again, 134 grams or thereabout. Obviously, I've taken off a lot many links, so you have the watch weighing around 150 grams. So looking at the external details, starting with the bezel, it features a ceramic insert which is beautifully polished and scratch immune. It features etched names of world's major transit cities, London, New York, Tokyo, Cairo, allowing you to visually coordinate your time zone. You have that nice little red triangle on London, giving it that special spot where the actual Greenwich Mean Time is tracked. So, however, we do run into my first real critique here, actually the second one, because the first one was 316L. The bezel action is unidirectional. Traditionally GMT watches should feature a bi-directional bezel, so you can quickly rotate it either left or right to calculate a third time zone on the fly. But Pagani used a standard 120 click, which are rather crisp. I have to give it that. That 120 click is rather crisp. It does not slip mechanism here. So while the click feels sturdy and lines up perfectly, it only rotates counterclockwise. It works totally fine, but true watch enthusiasts, would find it a bit quirky. They would want it go, bi-directional. Now, another small note: the 24-hour markings on the inner ring are black on black, which looks incredibly clean, but can make it a little hard to read in low light scenarios. And I'll show you, they are very very hard to read. They perhaps it was a design statement to deliberately make it subtle, but you can see certain inscriptions as I'm moving the bezel, and it would have made more legible sense if those 24 hours on the bezel could be either done in a light white. I'm not saying true so that it's becoming overly white, but just a light or gray tone or something to make it a little bit readable. So historically, loom has been Pagani Design's biggest Achilles heel. They usually apply it incredibly thin, and it fades after 5 minutes. And absolutely the same thing has happened here. Don't go for the loom. If you're looking for a loom, this watch doesn't have a very high quality loom. The hands and geometric indices glow with a sharp blue hue, and even the subtle outlines on the world map dial hold a faint glow for a while, but won't beat a Seiko Monster or a Citizen Diver. But it's a massive leap forward for a Pagani. So moving to the bracelet, it is a Jubilee style that I have used. Normally, the original comes with a classic 3-link stainless steel design with a brushed outer links and polished center accent. It features solid and links which prevent any annoying rattling against the case, and is secured by a folding safety clasp. Now, I because of my weakness for Jubilee style bracelets, opted for the Jubilee style. And for a watch that costs, or to me it costed around about, I would say, $150 or thereabout, the bracelet is perfectly acceptable, flexible, and it doesn't pull hair and holds securely on the wrist. So no review on the channel is complete without taking the time to list the flaws. I've already listed, the 316L stainless steel quality on my particular watch. Again, like I said, it may be my particular piece and not the batch, because I've not had this quality problem on other Pagani watches that I own. So it could very well be my watch. Now, a recommendation is the Cyclops. Now, I would have wanted Cyclops or the magnifying thing on top of the date window, but that's just me. Some people like it, some people don't. I would have liked it on the date window. The other factor that I noticed was the screw down crown thread, which sometimes feel stiff or gritty. Uh, Pagani could take some time to improve the quality on the screw down crown, even though that in no way compromises the water tightness. The water tightness is intact. It's great. I ran the watch under water flowing for about 4 or 5 minutes and nothing really happened. Everything is great, but the screw down and closing of the watch sometimes feels a little too tight, and you feeling a little scared closing it in. Not that you could just uh, somehow damage the screw down, or those that mechanism. So Pagani could take some time to improve that. Now, in terms of my final verdict, so if you're looking for a flawless piece of high-end horology, this isn't trying to be that. It is a homage or homage quality watch, which is excellent. It checks all the boxes. It's got the sapphire crystal. It's got a nice, beautiful bezel. The dial is absolutely gorgeous. You can see in the sun. It's unique. That world map is unique. That red arrow on the GMT is absolutely great. It it makes that watch stand out. The overall movement is the very reliable Seiko movement, which again is perfect. I like the band that I chose, the Jubilee bracelet band, which again is great. My only again, I'm coming back to that 316L stainless steel quality on the other side, but that's the only part which makes it a little bit compromised. Other than that, I think it's a perfect watch and highly recommended. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.